Hi, come in. I'm Michelle.
Brayden.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Glad you could make it. Thank you for applying for our position. We got your resume, and I just have a few questions I'd like to go over with you before we make our decision. Our school is accredited through the National Association of the Education of Young Children, NAEYC. How long have you been working in an AC classroom?
In an AC classroom, I worked for years with the Town Creek program.
Okay. And how many years have you had in the field of early childhood?
About 5.
5 years, okay. Part of the job description that the responsibilities that an assistant director will have will be talking with parents. What has your relationship been with parents?
Normally they've been very stable because I believe in beginning a relationship at the very beginning. The first day you meet the parent with openness and honesty so that the parent feels comfortable coming to you when there is an issue, whether it is with me or another staff member or another child.
Okay. How do you, if you do have a conflict with parents, how do you handle conflict with parents?
First of all, I try to isolate the specific problem because a lot of times the problem from the child and the problem from the parent may be completely separate because information from the child doesn't always make it to the parent in the same context as when you get it as a teacher. And after that, then speak first with each one individually and then bring them together and try to solve the conflict.
Okay, that sounds like that would work. What about teachers that are teaching together as a team and are having some conflicts, not getting along?
Honestly, along the same lines, try to find out why they're not getting along, what specifically is rubbing each other wrong. Try to first mend that problem, and if that doesn't work, then you have to take it to the office, because if teachers aren't getting along, then the classroom won't run smoothly.
Okay. What techniques have you found that are successful for calming down an injured or a sick child?
Basically getting down on their level, talking to them in a calm voice, not so much talking to them in a childlike voice, but just very calm, professional, so that they will calm down and try to get them under control. And talk to them while still attending to whether they're wounded or whether they're you're taking their temperature or calling mom. Just try to keep them actively engaged so that they're not thinking about what's wrong.
Okay. Part of the assistant director's job is to hire and train substitutes for the classroom. What types of training have you conducted that you feel would be beneficial to the substitutes at our school?
I have done 3 specific types of training. One of them is play-based curriculum, which is basically moving more away from so much workbooks as to incorporating play into the child's day. And a lot of times with substitutes, they aren't familiar with the classroom or with the curriculum, and therefore to them, they don't know how to implement a set activity. And a lot of times just getting down with them and speaking to them about how to implement set activities, with substitutes, it makes the day run a lot more smoothly. And also with room setup training, especially with substitutes, because they're thrown into a classroom, they don't know what's going on, how to make a classroom run smoothly, where to put the cots, how to put snack out, what manipulatives go where, what groups to set up where, just things like that.
Okay. We do have monthly nighttime meetings, monthly daytime meetings, and occasional nighttime events. Dad's Night, for example. Fall Family Festival is a weekend activity that we have. Will there be a problem with your schedule that would prohibit you? And if there is, how would you handle that so you could be at school?
Honestly, I don't foresee any problems that would occur. If there were to be a problem, I would try my hardest to still make it here and to first of all talk with the directors and also talk with whatever I have going on and see if I can reschedule that.
Okay. Speaking at parent orientation and monthly staff meetings is a very important part of what you will do as assistant director if you are hired. Do you get nervous when you speak in front of people?
No, I do not.
Okay, and how do you handle speaking in public? What are
basically just very calm, getting up there, make a lot of eye contact, make the audience feel as if they are important and that what you have to say is important because you're talking about their children. And to other teachers, you're talking about curriculum and things of that nature, and unless you make them feel as if it is important, they're not going to pay attention.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do. I mentioned play-based curriculum earlier, and I'm curious to know what type of curriculum is expected with the school, with the programs.
We do have a book that we do go by called Creative Curriculum, and it's pretty much open for teachers, curriculum that you decide upon that's best for your classroom. We encourage the use of emergent curriculum.
Okay.
So kind of where the children are and what they're doing now, like it's fall, there's acorns in the playground, so, bring in acorns and do bungee painting or something like that. But we do have monthly staff meetings where the other age levels will get together and other grades, and they will get together and kind of decide, okay, Christmas is coming up, what are we doing for Christmas gifts, that kind of thing. So it's pretty much up to you what you want to do, but we do have certain guidelines.
I understand. Do you have a worksheet-based curriculum, or is it more so, like you were saying, the emergent curriculum?
Right, it's emergent curriculum and play-based. We do not like worksheets.
Awesome. With your classrooms, you said you follow NACE guidelines. Does that include NACE ratios, or are your ratios sometimes larger, sometimes smaller?
Our ratios are are based on NACE. So if you have like 6 to 7 3-year-olds in a classroom per teacher, we go on the 6 side.
Okay.
So we would have 12 3-year-olds, 16 4-year-olds. So we're on the lower side of NACE, so we can always add a child if the need is there.
And are there always assistant teachers?
Yes.
So you're never left alone in the classroom?
No, never. That's against our guidelines.
That's awesome. My last question would be, is there opportunity for advancement in maybe as an after-school coordinator or as a lead teacher or curriculum, things like that?
Yes, and as any of those positions become available, I go to staff first.
Okay.
And I will post an assistant director, I will post a directorship, I will post curriculum coordinator, I will post age level coordinator, and pose that to staff first before I hire outside.
All right.
So, yes, there is.
All right. Thank you very much. When can I expect to hear back from you guys?
We're still considering a couple of other candidates. We're closing the interviews on the 15th, and we're making our decision by the 20th.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We'll be in touch. Thank you.